Hello, boys and girls.
Hello, all.
How
What's
are
the
you all
bounce today?
doing? The bounce? I don't know what the bounce. The bounce is risen.
The bounce.
The bounce is risen. The bounce is definitely. Do you know that I feel like we've forgotten the reason for this season? Do you know that someone was saying to me that, this is how you know Nigeria is bad. Like, even most people happy Easter. It's no longer, it doesn't feel as grand as it felt.
People don't have money.
Before, Easter was a thing before.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, okay, happy Easter. Like,
It's a
good,
long
do you know what I mean? It was just a
weekend,
long weekend. Before, I felt like Easter was like a holiday.
I think it was really, so it was my dad's birthday weekend. And we'll get into that like when we do that whole, like, what did you do this weekend? But I had a lot of errands to run for my mom. And driving around from Thursday evening. So there was a lot of traffic on Thursday evening because long holiday people are going, like traveling and going home and going to spend time with their families. But Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Friday evening, the streets were so bare because people just, spending power is super low. So even like, you just see activity. You see people waiting for, the roads were like super free. And I remember thinking, really, you should be happy that, well, there's no traffic. But it just made me sad that people are just not considering it because it's just not viable. Like, as a family, let's go out and eat, let's go out and have fun. And Nigerians are very big on like holiday. So like, people will get dressed and they'll go out.
Or go to your family member's house, everybody gets together.
Yeah.
People
like
can't
even
afford
Easter
to
Sunday,
feed.
I was like, there wasn't that. People were free.
Yeah.
People were actually free. Like it wasn't like, I'm busy with my family. People were free. Like you could call up, like, what are you doing? I had a lot of plans. People were very free. Even like lunch. So my grandma called like, we didn't book. Where will we find lunch? We went to a very popular restaurant. There was no reservation though. There was space. And normally, like not even Easter.
Not possible.
Normally, I'm like Sunday afternoon.
No,
We've
it's
not
not
up to 1 o'clock. We've just walked in. It's not possible. Normally, that place, like you know that. But I promise you, Easter Sunday there were tables.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, this is the first time I'm acknowledging that perhaps the economy is actually not bad because I was like, wait, Easter Sunday?
Yeah.
What? Mother's Day was packed. Everywhere was full.
But look at where it was full.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. So most Sundays, like I eat out once, most Sundays. But I realized that, so like there are restaurants that I like that are quite expensive, that now I'm like, actually no.
Yeah.
And those places were not full.
That's exactly where we went to that wasn't full.
A lot of mid-range places that people would have thought more like you could see where people thought were like if I'm feeling funky during the week, normally I will go there.
Yeah.
Those places were really, really full because people have now done the math and they're like, well, actually what should be a fancy big Mother's Day lunch, we can't afford anymore. So let's go somewhere that's more like
so nice.
Middle ground. Yes, that normally we would do on a random, if like daddy's feeling generous on like a random Thursday, we'll go there. But those places were now super full. And the more expensive places, that whole because normally, even when you call, the shakara is much.
They'll be like, for today.
The shakara is so much. And honestly, when we walked in, I remember saying, as it's my mom, that like, this is a fool's errand. Easter Sunday. We're not even serious people at all. We walked in, there was not even shakara. They were so happy to see us.
Yes.
They were gritty with
when they are now like, where would you like to say? I say,
where? You mean the tape choices?
Yeah, it's really.
It was really. I was actually
really
very, very surprised because I was just like, wait, this doesn't seem right.
Even like just inviting people around and having food, like there are things we would take for granted before. Nobody's taking that for granted.
That's how you know. When you say, let's catch up, whatever, I find more people are saying now, okay, my house or your house.
Come to my house.
Please.
Yeah.
I can't remember last time someone said, let's go for drinks.
Me both.
They're like, do you want to come to my house or should I come to yours?
Shout out to cocktails. I always have in my freezer now.
Always.
You want drinks?
Always. Is it drinks?
I even have a bar in my room. Just feel free.
Because let's catch up. Let's go to by the time you do dinner with 2 people and drinks with 3 people in a week,
it's actually very detrimental.
It doesn't make sense.
It's very detrimental.
Now I really moved to 3 of you just come to my house at the same time. We're gonna just drink.
I really love
have some small jobs and then everybody's gonna go home.
As you guys can hear, we have a fantastic guest. We're very excited.
We do. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay.
Tell them who you are.
Am I looking at the camera?
You don't know, look wherever you like.
Okay, hi. My name is Ibi. I'm the founder of Money Starts. I am a certified personal finance education instructor, and I run a platform. So it's to help millennials and Gen Zs build generational wealth or like build actual wealth. Yeah.
Love that. Yay. Love that. Please. Anyway, we'll get into, let's do our weekend first. Because I also asked, I'm like, I've known you for a long time.
You didn't know that this was what she's into?
No, it's not that. It's just, I remember I woke up one day. I said, money. Okay. I just opened it and I was like,
she knows what she's talking about. You know, I said,
Kobe knows a lot about finance. So what's going on?
Yeah, you are even polite. I remember I opened this. I was like, she was selling pajamas now. Like,
and I'll actually get to that because that's a really good point. So many people ask me
I promise you, okay, let me tell you the truth. You know when you see things and you're like, obviously, my people, you support.
You know,
so I followed it before even watching. And at the time, I think you only had like 2 videos. So I just followed it based on, okay, you started a page, of course, we move. So I just said, let me even watch it, just thinking, for the support. I said, come on.
Just something.
I was like, hold on, where were we when this information was being shared?
Do you know what Ibi does? She's all those people that said, I didn't read for the exam.
Yeah, and the thing is, she makes it look as if all of us should have. Sometimes I watch a video and I'm like, I'm sure I should have known this.
So this is so funny because all my friends, like everybody was close to me. My sister, my younger sister, who's like basically my best friend, she was like, how is it possible that for all of these years you've known all these things I did not tell?
I'm telling you, I was talking to one of our friends and I was like, can you imagine that all this time we've been chatting?
It never comes up. When are we ever going to have a conversation about...
You didn't do seminar for us inside the house. We didn't do seminar. We've been just this morning. I said, so we could have been making money. We could have been doing serious. I said, now why is this? I was supposed to say that now, wow.
But that's the funny thing about this because like I said, people are like, didn't know you knew all this stuff. Why did you never tell me? When we get together, that's not what we're talking about. And it also feels intrusive to now just start...
Just be like, so what are you guys investing in?
Yeah, what are you investing in? How are you thinking about your finances? It's awkward. Like, I don't know. It wasn't a thing then. I mean, I feel like now that I started this page, people are way more open. It's definitely more of a thing. But before, like I said, my sister and I, at any given point in time, on any given day, we're talking. We're having a conversation on 1 or 2 platforms. She's like, we talk constantly. This has never, ever, ever.
You don't get my mom is constantly forwarding your videos to our group chat. And I'm just like, the thing is, the other day, Mimi was like, we know her. We actually know her and we follow her. Thank you so much for bringing and it's the Instagram link. And I'm just like, sis, please, we've seen it.
My mom does the same thing. She's like, Ekwas, have you listened to our podcast? I'm like, yes, mom, I've listened to our podcast.
Like, please, mommy, I've mentioned several times about the fact that I know her in person. You don't have to send me the video. I have seen it. So yeah, it's a bit crazy, Sha, because when things like this happen, you're just like, hold up. So we could have been helping ourselves.
Yeah.
But what did you get up to this long weekend?
This long weekend, I went to the beach a lot. I was actually at the beach for most of this weekend. Yeah. And then I went to a birthday party that was also outside. Basically, I was outside for the whole weekend. It was very hot. So I'm not saying that I enjoyed all of it because at some point I was like, why am I outside?
Yeah.
Why are we outside? This doesn't make sense. Everybody's sweating, we're uncomfortable, a bit grumpy. It's not like the vibe of, we're outside, it's a nice day. It's just uncomfortable. But yeah, it was good. Like, I went to a 40th, went to the beach with my family, literally twice. That was it.
Nice. Okay.
What did I do? What happened on Friday?
You were at my speech.
Okay, that's true. So on Friday, I went to go and see people of Timber and Caliber at homecoming. Dialab had a talk, and then I saw Joker in that. I saw July Hound talk based on support. Let's not be as if. And it's so funny when I was at the Dialab one. People, and then I was standing outside. I was actually going to meet Layla. She was coming in. People now kept saying, "I want you to stay for your last talk." And I was like, okay, it's in 2 hours. If you don't mind, I'm just stepping out. I'll be back. They were so funny. They were like, so you're leaving. And I was like, please just calm down.
Helping you mind your friendship.
I'm like, just calm down. If you calm down, you'll actually see that we're coming back. So that was fun. And then what happened the rest of Friday?
FemFest.
I don't recall. Yes, I went to FemFest. So we popped into FemFest, which was fun. It was really nice. It was very well laid out. The beauty thing was honestly incredible. Like the beauty market set up. I loved it. I thought it was stunning. And like Soul Beach is actually a very good venue for like a large people event. So we went to FemFest. That was, unfortunately, based on my age, I didn't actually see Ira Style and Niniola, but it was a good time.
This season of I Said What I Said is brought to you by AfriChange. AfriChange is a fantastic platform you can use to send and receive money from Canada, Nigeria, and to tons of countries, over 50 countries if I believe.
Yes.
But they have something special for our people in the UK.
Very, very special. So at the end of the month, AfriChange is launching their UK corridor, which means that you can send money from the UK to about 50 countries, and you can also receive money in the UK from these countries.
Yay.
And if you go to africhange.co.uk and you sign up to their waitlist, you can get a few perks. You'll be one of the first people to have access to the UK corridor, and you also get invited to the parties that they're having to launch them in different cities across the UK. We love a good bash.
Do you know what else we love? We love the discount over here. So if you use the discount code ISWIS, you get a discount when you send your money. I mean, who doesn't want...
Just brilliant.
Who doesn't want...
You get a discount on your
such things.
transfer.
This is why we love AfriChange, because AfriChange loves us.
That's what we do.
All right, guys. Enjoy the episode. No, on Thursday evening, Mrs. B, Hans and Renee, she did a tea party with Soliat.
I saw that. It looked fun.
It was a lot of fun. So she's trying to...
so good.
Yeah, she's trying to figure out, like, what she's going to... She's trying to figure out what it's going to be. But you guys, it was amazing. So Solia did all the savory food. Mrs. B did all the sweets. And she had some teas as well. And it was really, really nice. It was just a fun time. It was really, really good. And I hope they make it like a thing. I hope she figures out what it's going to be and they make it a thing. And then on Friday morning, I was actually supposed to go to the Dial-Up pop-up. I'd even begged and begged. I begged. Like, I'm always complaining that, I don't get any benefit of being Ozzy's friend. Yeah. So I emotionally blackmailed her. I was like, Ozzy, you have to go. She gave me a slot too.
Did you miss your appointment?
As I was getting dressed to leave the house, me and my mom used the same tailor. She's at the door. I'm like, hey, come and do your fitting. That's how I missed my appointment. So, and then I couldn't go in the afternoon because I had a talk, I was moderating a panel for homecoming. So we went for that. And after that, I had errands to run for my mom. But the homecoming the panel was nice. Like, homecoming is a vibe. Grace is Grace. So
best.
Yeah, the best. So that was fun. And then Friday evening, I actually was supposed to go to FemFest, but my mom had planned so in case you haven't gotten the gist, my dad is a very different kind of person, okay? Everybody likes parties and he's quite a serious guy. His own is always different. So my mom had planned, and I don't know what it is with their generation, they really like all these trumpets.
Yes,
they love
all that
brass instruments.
Anyway, so into his birthday, my mom had planned a family praise and worship thing. So my uncle and his family came as well. But I don't know what I thought. I thought it was going to be just the normal, one person is playing one instrument. They usually have a
little speaker.
A speaker that has some beats on loop and then somebody to sing. So I thought it was. I came down at 10:30 and people were setting up drums, a full band. They had moved some of the chairs. My mom had hired somebody, Tolani, who we used to work with. Tolani's people came and did balloons on the ceiling. And so it was a whole thing. So there's a whole praise and worship thing. Full band though, saxophone, shekere. There were 3 backup singers with the singer. It was a whole thing. So we did that for an hour. My dad was really happy. He's not very emotive. My father is not the most emotive guy, but he was very, very happy. You could tell. And then the next morning, round 2, his cousin, Auntie Remy, sent another parara. She sent another one. And he danced again. They loved this thing. He loved it. And then we went for this symposium. And Frekemi is actually right. We were all, my mom, his brother, everybody that was helping him plan this thing, we were taking the piss out of my dad the entire time. We're like, Kola, you're actually being serious. Like, we're really going to do a symposium. He was like, yeah, this is what he wants. And after some time, we started feeling bad because, quite frankly, like, yeah, the party's for your family, but this is what he wants. So just make him happy, like, do what he wants. So we did the party, even entertainment. Oh, God. My uncle was like, okay, we can't just have a panel and you can't just do a presentation. So we need like entertainment. You guys, my dad brought an opera.
Oh, wow.
Like an actual.
Yes.
You don't understand, there was an orchestra, there were string instruments.
With string instruments, violins and
there
everything.
were string instruments. Those people were wearing suits.
Yeah. So that just gives you an example of my dad's kind of vibe. But it was really, she's not lying. Like, it was actually really nice. It was a lot of fun. And the thing that made me laugh the most is everybody there was a serious guy. Then you start seeing my friends. I was like, Jesus.
It was too fun. No, seriously, because they were like serious people. And then obviously us.
And so you would see like really serious. When I say serious people, I know you guys think I'm joking. Again, my dad is a very serious guy. Like, he's worked in finance for over 40 years. So you can imagine like, serious people. Then you just see a pack of crown jazz. I was like, oh my God. At a point, right, they put the mic, like there's this like really like elder statesman or whatever, and they give him the mic. Now, that's fine. The problem is we were all sitting down behind him.
And we're laughing.
So the thing was that they put me on... No, I wasn't sitting down behind my parents. I was sitting down on the second row or third row, right? But we were right behind this person. And so they left space for my friends. So it was just a row of stupidity, quite frankly. And this man is talking seriously. But old people, they don't give a shit anymore. So they just say what they want to say. Yeah. So the man said something and said, anyway... I'm on my way to my grave.
Did you guys? It was actually so tough.
It was
because
so funny.
You could almost see some people like behind him in the camera, and we were just like
we were cracking up. So it was,
please.
And it was genuinely very, very nice. Like even and my dad put effort into his outfits. Like he's vain, so he likes clothes, but like everything was just. I was very proud of him. The food was good. The decor was nice. Like he was so like I could tell that he felt like okay, I've. Whatever you guys now want to do, fine.
No, it was a great time.
But I've done my own thing.
How you know is that like I actually remember the content of what we were discussing. We were discussing that. That's how you know that it was a good time.
He actually has like my dad has he wrote a paper, the whole thing.
A presentation.
That's serious.
There was a booklet.
Actually very serious.
The guy is a serious guy. He's such even his friends. Yeah, even his friends are just like, do you know the thing? I got the text and I was like, it's Kola. Of course, like this tracks. Like if any of my friends are going to do this tracks.
Like my mom came and then she was looking at the booklets and she was like, there's a presentation. And I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, my mom even had to warn him. My mom threatened him because the presentation, like it's a whole booklet. I'm not joking. It's a whole thing. My mom like sat him down. She was like, Kola, you can't lecture. You can't lecture.
You don't understand. The booklet has like sources.
You can't go into lecture mode. Like you have 5-10 minutes to do this thing. He looked so sad. He was like, Kai. So she basically, and when he was in his presentation, he'll look at her. She'll not be like, let's wrap this thing up. So
another funny thing from your dad's thing is I read Nigerians said this thing is not about age. Okay, time for questions. Nobody asked one question.
Everybody had comment too.
I just want to
say not questions.
Yeah, I just want to say that. I just want to add to what
our favorite comment. There was a guy that stood up, right? Wow. See, Nigerians are fantastic people.
You guys, Nigerians are phenomenal.
And I think people are just positing like what they feel are like solutions to economic problems. Do you know what this guy's solution was? The first thing he said was, we need to bring back old time. For instance, somebody takes office, they use Bible, they use Quran, they say, I promise. That's not swear. If you want to swear, you swear. Everybody in the hall was like,
this man's solution to economic problem was that they should go back to doing blood covenants.
Wow.
I promise.
No, we were cracking up. It was hilarious. And then because we just felt like as a family that it's nice that you've done this thing, but we felt like we needed to have something that was also just more jovial. So we had a really small, a really small dinner at Georgia. We just opened. Like Fekewa, I told her, I was like, I just want to let you know, we're doing this thing with you. She was like, the space is not ready. I said, that's cool. It'll be ready that day. But they did a phenomenal job. So it's like a fine dining, like shared eating experience. And it was really, really nice. Also, we found out that one of our friends, you guys, and I'm not joking, during our Sunday fellowship, as we call it, we found out that one of our friends is most likely one of those, what's the name of whiskey stand? What are they called?
Stan accounts.
All those fan
pages. All those matchala accounts. I promise you.
We found out that it's like our friend is running one of those accounts. No, you guys, we were having a debate about a music thing. This guy was so passionate about Whiskey Dayo Balogun. I can't explain to you guys. Let me tell you, he said, I can't remember what we said. He said, had it been I know you, I would have, as in, to someone he just met there. Passionate argument because of Whiskey. It was so crazy to me. And we were like, I'm sure that you run one of those Machala _124 accounts. It was the funniest thing. No, honestly and truly, like he was.
I have never seen anybody.
He was like deeply passionate, and then the funny thing is that he was now winning the argument. We didn't want to agree with him.
We couldn't now say so.
He couldn't, and then at a point, he said, "Do you know the thing about God? He will never leave his people."
Wow.
We were like, guy. No, but I had a fantastic weekend. It was really, really great. Should we do one or two dilemmas now and then get into money talk? Yes, okay. Teresa, please.
Let me see. I feel like there was one. Please, you guys, I just want to beg you. You know, I really like that you guys are into the dilemmas, but it's actually not an essay writing platform. Because what's starting to happen is once there are more than 2 paragraphs, you've gone too far. Do you know what I mean? It's becoming a real, you guys are using this thing to do serious essay writing or as in, when I say dilemmas, like there's one here that has 7 paragraphs.
Oh.
Is that not a short story?
It really is. Okay, so let me start with Not Risa Tisa, who says, help, my boyfriend is married to a man. My boyfriend was born
coming in blazing. Wow.
My boyfriend was born in the UK but raised in Nigeria. He moved back to the UK after uni, which is when we met and dated for a while. Things didn't work out and we went our separate ways, but as fate would have it, we met again a few years later and started dating again. However, during that time, he began a marriage arrangement with his friend who was desperate to stay in the UK. The friend's study visa was about to expire and he had exhausted all options, including trying to do a marriage arrangement with a woman, which fell through. This is when my boyfriend comes in. He explained that he agreed to do it because he was one of his childhood best friends and he also needed the money that his friend was offering in exchange for them entering a civil partnership for 5 years. This had all been agreed and the process for spousal visa had already started before we began seeing each other again. I had previously said to him that I didn't see myself getting married for a few years because I was still in uni and wanted to build a career first. So he used this as a green light to indicate that I would be okay with waiting 5 years while he helps his friend get a visa. He only told me about the arrangement the day after the court wedding, which was clearly too late. This has been a huge issue for us and has brought so much shame I cannot even bring myself to discuss it with friends or family. It's been almost 4 years and during that time I've endured countless questions about marriage from his mother and I've had to lie to her every single time we speak. When his brother got engaged, the questions got worse and I started pressuring him to tell his parents, but he made excuse after excuse and only eventually told them after we spoke to a mutual friend. We plan to tell my parents after the divorce had been finalized, which will be in the next few weeks. My family and I are from a very different country, and these arrangements are not commonplace within our culture. He says these arrangements are very commonplace amongst Nigerians, ? They also take marriage very seriously, so I'm terrified of how they will react and how this will affect all relationships involved. Before the divorce process began, and before he told his parents, he asked for my dad's blessing under false blessing to marry me because his parents were pressuring him to move things along. My dad was so happy when this happened, and I know when he finds out he gave his blessing under false pretenses, it will crush him. The issue is not that he doesn't want to marry me. He's apologized many times and begged me to stay. But my issue is that he's too much of a people pleaser and doesn't think things through before he does them. He has good intentions, but his priorities and conviction to do the right thing are not where they should be. Aside from this, he's a really great person, and I'm not blind to the fact that I have flaws too. Am I making a big deal out of this, and will I be an asshole for breaking up with him?
Are you making a big deal out of the fact that your boyfriend is currently in a civil partnership with a man for 5 years because of visa and money? That's what you're asking? if it's a big deal.
Was it life-changing money?
Definitely
it can
not.
Never be.
It can be.
It can never be.
That's a giant commitment.
It can never be life-changing. It can never be life-changing.
Yes,
that's a fact.
Interesting.
Like, so once again, the story is not clear.
Yeah, I think
the story is not clear.
I mean, my first instinct is that, like, based on a certain type of privilege, I just don't understand this. Like, I don't. This has never been something I've never worried about. Like, I'm moving to a country and I need to stay here by any means necessary. So I'll consider this type of arrangement, or I will pay under the table.
Like, even when it's a man and a woman, I don't get it.
I've never done exactly. So
that's why I said, is it life-changing?
Yeah.
No. So I think there's that part we don't understand. I'll have you know that it's not commonplace amongst.
It's actually, I wanted to say that it's actually not commonplace amongst Nigerians.
You know, it's something that people joke about all the time, but not necessarily commonplace.
I don't know that many people marrying for the
marrying a man.
I don't know now that many people.
So what I do think is, like, I'll be honest, like, one thing I've learned is people are often disappointed in themselves when they find out that their principles are very different from what they've always believed.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you'll say, I can never be with somebody who tells this kind of lies, who will do this kind of thing. That's what you want to believe about yourself. But you might begin to feel embarrassed when you find out that because you love someone, you are looking for ways to explain away something that fundamentally you believed you just thought was wrong, right? And I think that's something that you have to grapple with personally. Mm-hmm. He has done it since he has done it.
He has done it.
Do you understand? He can't undo, even when they get divorced, it will always be like a matter of fact that this happened, right? So you have to grapple with that honestly. It's not for anybody to tell you how you feel.
My honest, sorry, if I'm correct, the court wedding of this, the court thing of this civil partnership happened after they had already started dating.
Yeah.
Don't know shit.
Yes.
So this is where it becomes deeply unclear for me. The fact that he's a man, I can't ask him about his sexuality. That's an aside. That's not my main issue here. He's a liar. How will we be dating? Then you go and marry somebody else, and you don't even. There's not even like a BT dubs.
Yeah, until after the fact.
Do you get? Yeah. There's not even like a by the way, in case you hear that I'm married, don't panic.
Yeah, which is deeply... It's also very manipulative.
Yeah.
Your partner, like, going to do something and telling you after.
You not told me after the permanent thing is done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you know that it's not going to be tomorrow that you undo it. Also, it affects you in a very direct way. Like, thank God it was not Nigeria that they got married, because you still have to do 2 years separation. Do you know what I mean? It's very, as in, the implications are very direct. So you cannot tell me, oh, you're helping somebody out, great, and, you know, they're marrying for papers or whatever, and then you let me know the week after. What does that mean? When I'm already with you? For me, the main problem is that you're a liar.
But the thing is, from this story, it has been 4 years since that time.
Yeah.
So she's already almost at the end. So that means for the last 4 years, she's known this.
She's known this and she's been there.
She's been loving the relationship.
So I'm like, this one,
it's now because that they're actually about to do the thing. She's like, actually, now that I have to explain this to my parents. You know, it's different when you have to explain something to your family members, like people that know you and the things that you don't want to admit to yourselves. Yeah. You know how many people's relationships scatter when they introduce people to their siblings, even just their siblings, their parents.
Because the questions you start asking, you're like, okay, but how does this make any sense? Like, when it's two of you in your little bubble, that's fine. But in the light, it does not hold up.
Yeah. I think that's what's stressing her. Like, Jolla, like you said, she's embarrassed that she did something she never thought she would do. Now that she has to explain it.
Now she's asking questions. Yeah. Also, you too. Why are you going to ask for a hand in marriage when you're married? Like, I don't know why people do stupid things.
Stress.
Because now you've now made it. The problem is that, again, you've now made it like a thing where you are lying. You've gone to ask the man. All of a sudden, now you guys have to backtrack and explain.
And the whole time you're married, that's why your father-in-law
thank
to
you.
It's a lot.
And the thing is, because you've now done it in this way, it can never be like, oh, you know, I was just helping my friend. Because if it was, that's the first thing you'll say.
Yeah.
Like, by the way, this person was in a bank. This is what I did. But like, this is my plan moving forward. No, you first try to deceive them. And then now it's not going to work out. I don't know. like any set of parents that are going to be like, oh yeah, cool. Okay, so you just lied to us the whole time. No, P, we've known you. This whole 4 years, none of you thought that you should mention. Just, oh, by the way,
this is the situation.
So listen, I don't think it's going to end well, but all the best. All the very best. I do wish you the best of luck.
Okay, our final one is from someone called Money Needer. Hi guys, I found your podcast while I was in Kenya and had COVID a little while ago. I'm now caught up and truly a big fan. Keep doing the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Anyway, I'm 30, I have a decent job and I make an okay salary, but the economy is killing me, bro. I often feel inadequate when I hear people say things like never accept a job that pays less than 100K in the UK. In the UK, with that in brackets. Or I see people say that they are starting businesses to make more money. I really want to earn more, but I'm kind of in a career where earning potential isn't really crazy. I genuinely enjoy the field I work in. It's afforded me a lot of experience traveling, working in interesting places, and meeting interesting people. But I somehow feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not grinding enough. I'm not hustling enough. And quite frankly, I'm not enough. I hate feeling like people can make me feel easily inadequate and that comparison is the thief of joy. But I'm really tired of all these rich bitches stealing said joy. I guess I'm asking, how does a 30-something-year-old single lady stay happy and content in a world of people that keep wanting more and more and more? Thanks, ladies.
This is why that girl is going to Santorini. She does not want to walk.
Yeah. I mean, my heart actually goes out to the person that wrote this thing because she's not the only one that feels this way.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for a fact, like I have spoken to, since I started this business in a short while, hundreds of people in their 30s. Bearing in mind that I started this business for like Gen Zs, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought that, because Gen Zs will ask you like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I just got out of school. I just started my job. I don't have this. I don't have this. They are more open about it. But I feel like as you get older, you've been working a bit longer, you start seeing like, it seems like people seem to have this figured out. It seems like people seem to have things. You now keep quiet. Nobody wants to talk again. Everybody feels like it's only them. Everybody feels like, my friend just started this business. This person just bought this. Open your Instagram. This person that just went to New York is now in Italy.
Yeah.
And you start feeling like the pressure. Like, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more? Should I be looking into making investments? You don't even know what to invest in, but should I just be doing like...
So that you just say that you have investments.
So that you can say that you're doing something. So my heart goes out to whoever you are. Like, you are definitely not the only one. I can tell you that 90% of people feel like this.
Not even... Well, 90%, you're probably right. But we had Onye helped us with. So if you guys, we've mentioned Onye a few times. Onye is the reason why, everything is looking like our things are looking snazzy. So Onye, the form that we made a form asking people how they feel about money and, their finances. And more than 80% of people are either very dissatisfied or dissatisfied with their finances.
Like it was clear across the board.
It was very clear. It wasn't that, people were like, okay. And then even part of that, there was like 10% after that were like, man, no more. I just refuse to think about it. Yeah. Like I just don't want to think about how I feel about my finances. But dissatisfaction and embarrassment are very, very common and high feelings around money.
Yeah.
Just generally.
Yeah, and even like so we asked, what packs are people doing? I was laughing because one of them was just like, every time I swipe my card, I just say blood of Jesus. Because the thing is, people were like, which hack? I don't have.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's not just a dissatisfaction, but like a feeling like loss of control.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what to do to change this thing.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's just generally what Ibi said is really important in that when you're in your 20s, you're not ashamed of being inadequate because you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of room for error and people really keep saying, you're young.
Your 20s.
Young.
People say your 20s are the time for mistakes. But I feel like once you turn 30,
there's a bit of...
You start feeling shy.
Shy and shameful. I mean, like one thing about us on this podcast, we have no problem being honest. I was talking to my mom a few days ago. And because my mom shuttles quite a bit now, we're not in the same place a lot. So she's actually my mom is making a big effort to like, when she sees me, she wants to understand. She wants to see how I'm feeling. Like, because obviously when you're on the phone, it's different when you're on FaceTime, whatever. So she was kind of asking me, not in super clear terms, but she was just basically trying to feel like, she was trying to understand why I have such a huge drive with my career. And I said it very offhand. I was like, I'm not married, I don't have children, I have no excuse. Like, I need to be successful. like it's really important to me. And she was just looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, almost like, what on earth are you talking about? And I had to be like, you don't understand, like, that is how I genuinely think. I feel like in terms of achievement and success, everybody can say what they like. All this shit about you have time. I'm like, no. I feel like people are not honest. Everybody wants to say stuff that seems like they're very sensible, you know, or that they've thought things through clearly in their mind. Every time I'm thinking about my life, I'm like, when I want to have something to show, this is what matters to me.
Yeah.
I have friends that have children and I see the investment they make in their children. So if they come and tell me, oh my God, Jola, I feel a type of way about my finances or, you know, even their like relationship with their partner, I'm like, but look at your amazing kids. Like those kids are a representation of all the hard work you've put in. Now me.
Where will you now see
Where will I point to and say, okay,
this is the representation.
So I think sometimes people, and there's a lot of push, like we're millennials. So when we were 18, Facebook, Snapchat, things were coming out and people who are 3-4 years older than us were doing crazy things. Like, you know, we grew up on Disney Channel. So we saw child stars in the multiples. Yeah. So we have a very, very visual idea of what immense success looks like. Yeah. When our parents were very young, they didn't have a lot of that stuff. Successful people were in their 30s, 40s. So they weren't
like we saw people
make
it like 20-something.
20-something millionaires.
We've been seeing like lifestyle. We've been seeing it since we were very young.
So it's very easy for us to feel extremely to feel like a loser. Like let me use that term because it's not just I'm unhappy or I'm dissatisfied. Like that stuff is almost ephemeral, like in its meaning. Like there's a time that sometimes when you talk about, especially when it comes to money, you feel like a loser. Like it's not just I'm unhappy with my finances. I'm happy with a lot of things, okay? But when it comes to money,
like, I don't have it.
I don't have it, and it makes me. It drives my mood.
Yeah,
as opposed to just. And so I wanted us to like talk quite practically about what is possible because we get a lot of that.
We get a lot. Yeah, people always ask, and you know, everybody's watching everybody's pockets as well. People always ask what's possible, and I'm just
what's possible in terms of.
Actually, what can I do?
What can you do in terms of like, okay, moving from point A where you are to point B without, you know, winning the lottery?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I love that question. And maybe as a segue into that, I'm going to answer the last part of that question. She said, what can I do as a single 30-something-year woman to actually be happy? Number one, focus on your own focus. She said something very key. She said that she was happy doing what she was doing. You're already better than most people. Most people hate their jobs. You're actually happy. So like on a fundamental level, you are happy. But you're looking at other things that make you feel like maybe you shouldn't be satisfied the way you are. So be careful what you consume. And I'm not saying that like as a preachy way. Like I am very careful about what I follow on social media. On my own personal Instagram page, I go on it three times a week. And I'm not saying everybody should do that. But like I just try and focus on my own life. I don't focus on what anybody else is doing. Like if you're actually happy and you make it, it's not as if you can't make ends meet. Yeah. You can. You might not be balling out of control, but you're actually happy. So let's start there. You are happy doing what you're doing. And this is another secret people don't know. If you're actually happy doing what you are doing, you have limitless potential to make money. Because that means you can see things in that industry that other people cannot see.
Right.
Don't try and find something else to do. I'm going to segue into how to get from point A to point B. So the first thing I always ask people to do is, what do you want and why? So when you say, I want to earn more because, and then you write the first thing that comes to your mind. For lots of people, is I want to earn more because I want to buy Chanel bags. So people feel like, think about like, why do you actually want that? Write it down and don't overthink it. Don't lie to yourself. You can come and lie to me. You can lie to other people. Tell the truth to yourself.
I'll tell you my
I want to X because Y. Start there. Because when you do that, it will help you focus your brain.
Yeah.
Like, so basically, when I first started my career, I was working in financial services. Saying, okay, financial services, I'm going to make a ton of money. This is going to be great.
Yeah.
And I was earning money. I was working in the corporate finance section of an insurance company. As you can, it was insane. So I was earning more money, but you guys, I was miserable. I was dying on the inside. Working hours were crazy. Morning till night, even weekends. And I just sat down and I was like, why am I actually doing this? Like, I'm not happy. And I was doing it so that I could have money just so I could be like, look at me, I have money, I'm successful. And I'm like, but I'm miserable. So I'm just like, I'm just not going to do this anymore because this is not Like, this is not what I want to do. Right? But I was like, okay, but what else am I going to do that I will be happy and also make money? Because you need money. Let me know. I like money.
Money is very important.
I like money. Money is important. If you don't have money, you don't eat.
Let me tell you the thing about money not buying.
Don't do the whole it's not about money.
The thing about money not buying happiness is that you've not seen the money that will make you happy.
Exactly. So you need to find money that will make you happy.
You'll be so happy.
Do you know, this sounds very stupid. So my mom was looking for some shoes for my dad for his 60th. She wanted to get him these shoes. So she found a pair of shoes in Apollo.
Yeah.
So we walked in there and I just started smiling.
You're just happy.
Like I like being around.
I was just like, I was in the women's shoe section and I was just smiling. And my mom started laughing at me. She was like, just look at you. I was just smiling. I was like, just look at these shoes. Look at these bags, mommy. This is the life.
This is it.
That's something I'm going to talk about next, right? So once you are clear in your mind as to what you want and why, I can even just say, I want money because I want more freedom. I want more choices. I want to walk into Polo and pick up something and not have to be stressed about, do I have enough? That's number one. The next thing I always say, and people don't like this one because it's boring, is budgeting. Having a budget is actually, just hear me out. Hear me. I'm going to get on to the sexy stuff.
The thing is, I know you're right, but like, it feels... It gives me the ick.
It gives everybody the ick because, like, you don't want somebody to tell you how to budget. You want to be like, how do I?
Even me, I don't want to tell myself how to budget.
But this is the thing about budgeting. If you have your budget down, you actually have the opportunity to have more money and make more money.
Do you know what? Let's actually get into budgeting because sometimes, like, okay, this weekend until I think Sunday evening, Mr. Gilbert wasn't around. Which is our chef du jour in my house. And so I didn't have any plans apart from like when I was seeing my friends. I didn't really have any plans to like order in or eat out or whatever. But I was just like, look, I can't be bothered. I don't want to make anything and I don't want to leave my house. I'm going to order food. And I remember thinking to myself, but like, even though it wasn't clear, I had said to myself that I have been out this whole weekend. There is no reason for me to be ordering food at this time. There's actually food in the fridge. I just don't want to eat that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just, as in, I'm going, and it was like, it was Saturday. I'm like, I'm going for lunch tomorrow. I've just come back from Pastor Kola's thing. They gave us food. Like I don't need to do this thing. And it was almost a conversation with myself that nobody you go tell me what I go do. It was like, please, that was you of yesterday. And this is me today. I'm a new person. And actually, you can't tell me what to do. And it was such a funny thing for me because I was like, even amongst myself, I can't get it together and say, okay, this is what I'm doing versus this is not, what I'm doing. And so for me, like budgeting always feels so restrictive because, there's this whole thing of everything.
Like
money. Yeah, money's about freedom.
I don't believe that at all. And it's not true. The way I get my clients to do their budgeting is spend money on what you like. Like if you want to live in a room this size, like this is the extent of your whole house, and you want to spend all of the rest of your money doing your hair and eating out, live your best life. Yeah. If you want to spend literally all of your money on a house, you are not going anywhere, nobody's coming to see you, do it's fine. Don't put budget for anything. Budget is about making sure that you spend money on what you care about. So for your example, put 70% of your budget towards eating out. So that you're not going to be doing your hair every 2 weeks or whatever, and you're happy. That's fine. Budgeting is not about, let me fit myself into these boxes. You work hard for your money. It should make you happy. You shouldn't now be feeling sad that this money I now can't spend it. So let me tell you guys something about me. I spend all my money on my hair. I don't eat that much. I'm skinny. I know it's like unpopular, but I don't care about food. Like I care about my hair. I spend all of my money on my hair. Like most of my budget is on my hair.
I have friends that, and she also spends
my hair and my nails. This is what I spend my money on. And I budget according. When it comes to eating out, I'm like, you're coming to eat in my house because I don't have budget for this. I'm going to do my hair. Like that's how I spend my money. So it should be, what do you want to spend your money on? That's what you should use your budget to do. Your budget is between you and you, not to make other people feel like you're responsible. So just to take it back a bit, the first thing I talked about was mindset. Now I'm talking about managing money. Next thing is saving. But before I get into saving, I'm just going to say now that in this economy, saving cannot save you. Okay, so I'm acknowledging that. I know that people are saving and feeling like it is pointless. I have felt that too. That point in February when the dollar reached the max, I just sat down, I was looking at my life. I was like, what is happening, God?
Even your savings,
your savings will not save you this economy.
What's this worth now?
Yeah, so saving is good. Saving is very, very important. I always recommend saving. Like you need to have an emergency fund, for like random hospital bill. Before you came, Jola was telling me about somebody whose child had something stuck in their nose. Just like that, 1M
The child put a bead up his nose. No, nose was still better because they can just pull it out. The thing entered the boy's lung.
Ooh, bruh.
900K.
That's crazy.
That you weren't planning for.
His parents woke up that morning saying, God, we thank you. They were just moving around. They did not know that their son was going to put them in a million naira by that day.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about in terms of
So you always need an emergency fund, especially here, like where something will burst in your house, your car will break down.
I did this emergency fund thing. Like there was one time that I was into personal finance. I downloaded one of all these templates that people have online. So for 3 months I was on it, and then I did one of the best thing. I did an automated savings thing, which still goes till now, and I don't touch it. I don't, I can remove the money, but like in terms of me. Like the money comes out every week, whether I like it or not. Unless I don't have money there, that thing is debiting. But I was struggling to figure out how much my emergency fund should be.
Oh, great question. So the answer to that is you won't be able to know if you don't have a budget. Your emergency fund should be 3 to 6 months of your expenses. So let me give you an example. Expenses, not your income. Listen. Let's say you earn 100K a month, but every month you only spend about 60K. That's 60K times 3. That should be your emergency fund. So your expenses times 3. I know that you're saying, but trust me.
Out of my 100K, I don't spend 60K.
But the good thing about emergency fund, you can take your time to build it up. But then, how much of your, or not you, but I feel like everybody should have a percentage. You have to have a percentage of your income that you goes towards saving, and it can't be 3%.
So that's what I'm saying. To be sincere, right? With the way things have been, I just feel like my personal finance motto has really been more of can't come and die than other things. Which is why out of like my 100K, like 96.5 has been spent.
On expenses.
Sure. Expenses, things that are not expensive, that are not important.
Yeah,
just everything, sure. And so that's why. So I was building my emergency fund, and then I got to like, I didn't do this calculation, sure, but I was like, my emergency fund can last me like if I don't earn any money again, like 3 weeks.
Wow.
No, and this is 3 weeks. This is 3 weeks of like full lifestyle. There's no like 3 weeks of not cutting anything back. Like I'll still go out to eat, I'll still do everything. I'll still do my hair. If I wanted to be a serious person and be like, okay, I don't have income, blah, 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 it will stretch. But this is 3 weeks of like, I'm buying like I'm not thinking about the cost of things. I'm not editing my life in any way. Like, if you call me to do this and that, if I see something that I like, I'll order, I'll buy it, clothes or whatever. Yeah. That wasn't the case before. Before it was higher, and then my car broke down.
Yeah, that's why I need an emergency fund.
My car broke down, my gearbox went once, and my emergency fund just started weeping.
Scattered. Let me ask you another question. Do you separate your savings out into buckets, or do you just have like savings, just general savings?
I just have savings.
That's a really big mistake that people make for many reasons. Like the first is, if you are just saving, and you just have savings, you're going to get bored of saving. Like you stop saving. Like and then saving gets boring and gets tiring. And one day you wake up and you spend the money. While humans, I'm not saying all these things because I'm like so smart and so wise. And I've been there, like I've done it. You save, big amount of money. One thing will happen, you get discouraged because the savings will disappear. So like the strategy I like to recommend is, first of all, build your emergency fund. That like 3 months expenses, it has to be there because something like this, your car, it will come up and you don't want it to eat into
That's exactly what happened. And I was so upset because I was like,
because you've been saving that money
so much, and the thing, it just wrecked it. It didn't even make sense.
So discouraging and demoralizing. It's happened to me many
because I was like, this is not, if I thought, what am I saving for? This is bloody not it.
So that's the next thing I wanted to get onto. You now have to decide, what am I actually saving for? I don't have random savings. So like last year, I was saving because I turned 30 in December. I was saving money for that. I was saving for like summer, summer with the kids. I don't know. Summer is just expensive for me. Traveling camp, blah, blah, blah. I was saving for like, I don't know, random things that I wanted to buy. I wanted like the new iPhone. Just randomly saving for like specific things, but I don't just have general savings because that way I know that, okay, my savings have a purpose. This money is going to something that I want and it's going to come back and make me happy because at the end of the day, I'm working for money to make myself happy, not to fulfill some kind of random arbitrary
Finance
financial
goal.
Like, no, we're not doing that. My whole thing is like, you should make money to build wealth and do things that make you happy. And there's actually a way to do that, a sustainable way. So that's on like budgeting and saving. I feel like people get stuck on saving and they don't start investing.
I do love that. Now, the thing with budgeting is, for me, judgment.
What do you mean?
Okay. It is when one time, like when I was a serious person, I was into personal finance. They say you should, before I did my budget, the thing was, look at your last 2 or 3 months statement. And then what the person said that let me tell you, I started arguing with the article because the article said that where you spend your money is what's important to you.
Yeah.
I said, excuse me, you don't know me. That's the first thing is that you don't even know me, number one. I don't even know me, number two, because what I'm saying in this statement, and I was just like, why did I do that? I was like, who spent money on this? Not me.
And looking at your bank statement,
I swear, I promise you, I looked at it and I was like, this is not a serious person. This is not a serious person.
Do you know?
Look, everything here is rubbish.
So, Ibi is writing like budgeting and I'm like sitting down and looking at what like your finances are saying about the type of person you are is important. And Fekemi is even more writing that like, I just don't like what it tells me.
I don't like what it tells me.
I'm going to be honest. I just don't
I'm like, I judge this person.
Yes, I don't appreciate what it says about who I am. But I also don't want to change.
I don't want to change.
But why must you change?
No, because sincerely,
like, no. Sincerely, it's bad behavior. No, I can't lie to you.
My statement tells me that I'm deeply unserious about just even my own life. I'm telling you. I promise you, I looked at that thing and I was like, what is happening here? What is this?
Yeah,
what's going on?
I think, there is just something, there's also like, if I'm being honest, a bit of shame in that like, I think I'm better than who I am.
And
I'm not going to lie to you on multiple fronts. So there's like my spending behavior. But what makes me more annoyed is I believe I should have more money.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, but you're better, like you're a bigger babe.
No, but even the money that I have, I'm like, I know that I should have spent it better than this. Even in terms of, not even like, okay, from anybody else's standard, even my own standard of if it's happiness or whatever, I'm like, what is this? And so I then now do the budget and I do this thing that I do the budget of like who I would love to be.
That's what I was saying. You can't. It's actually a very
stupid idea.
It's like, I remember one time.
I have never met that person.
I remember one time I did one budget and I think I said, immediately the money comes in.
You pay a tithe.
And let me tell you what, tithe. Before I even started that one, I just sat down. First of all, let's see how I know I'm a fool. I started with a new notebook. So I sat down, new pen, new notebook. I sat on my table, new Schneider, and new notebook. I opened it, I said, Jollz Finances. And then I put in asterisks. First thing, when the money comes in, 50% is savings, idiots.
That's a lot.
I have never in my life saved 50% of my money.
50% is a lot of money to save.
Wait now, I now said, I want you to keep in mind, when it comes to exercise, I'll exercise maybe 3 days in a row. See you till 3 months' time. And I said, anyway, I'm on a health kick now. So I'm going to reduce my eating out by about 80%.
Wow.
Me. No, that's why I said that.
80% is a lot.
I'm trying to be honest. Because you're asking why this thing doesn't work. I'm telling you what people will not say. And I said, actually, I have a walk-in closet. It's big, beautiful clothes. I said, I'm going to shop my wardrobe. Okay? I'm going to shop.
Not going to buy anything.
I'm not going to buy anything. I want you to know that as I was writing that thing, I had a Instagram alarm for Kaisil. I just want you guys to know. So I'm going to shop my wardrobe. And then I said I'm going to overcome my fear of like being seen as somehow and tell people no. So when they're like, Jola, how fun? Now let's go to lunch. I'm going to say no. Savings.
The power of no.
And then when I want to when I just think of somebody and I'm like, oh, do you know what? I should get this for this person. I want to say, no, savings.
It's absolute clownery.
And then I'm going to just, I'm going to move with this new person I've never met before, okay? But I've written it in the new notebook with a new pen. So obviously, it's going to happen. And then what happens is the first thing I do that's not on that list knocks me off, and I'm so embarrassed. I'm so ashamed.
You just stop with the rest.
I just don't do that. So like I know like a big feeling for me around money is shame. Even when my dad, who is like the kindest, most understanding, like easygoing person I know, like my dad would just ask me like, how are your finances? I speed up the conversation like so fast because I just don't want to sit down.
Literally, I take it as an attack. My mom will be like, what are you spending your money on? Or she'll say, oh, let's do this. And I'm like, no, I can't afford it. She's like, what are you spending your money on? No, and then I'm like, excuse me. And she's just like, I'm not as in... That's my mommy's I'm just asking you
but that's honestly how it feels. And like, Jollz, I like what you said, that you're just... you try to create like who you wanted your finances to be, but it doesn't work. And I know that from experience. That's why I'm just true to myself. Like, yes, I come on here, sound like finance babe. I will not lie to you. I spend most of my money on my hair, but I do have my savings and my investments. Because I know, I'm like, I don't lie to yourself. You're going to spend this money on hair, just budget it.
Yeah.
Don't lie to yourself. Let's just
I like that. I think it's
the thing why this budget thing is important is I don't like talking to people about increasing your income, investing, building on your investments, because no matter how much better you think you're going to be if you have 100 million a month,
you can't manage it.
It's true. And I know again because been there. I've had my salary increase by 5 times in 1 year. Stupidly cleared the money. I remember before I even applied for the job, I was thinking to myself, if I even get paid that much, what will I even spend the money on? Scattered it, cleared.
You will find it.
Like if you don't build that structure in place, there's no need to talk about investing, building your income, all of these things. You'll find that the same you that is here is the same you that's going to meet you there. Nothing will change.
To be fair, that's a fact.
To build
because like
now,
I keep thinking, this is the amount of money I need, and like every time the amount of money that I have increases, somehow it still goes.
It's like a building, right?
It still goes.
So budgeting is just like, it's a scaffolding. That's just like your internal infrastructure. There's nothing to build upon because like I have like a 3M like foundational blocks. Let me tell you the problem
with budgeting is the scaffolding. I'm into interior decor.
Scream.
I'm actually into interior decor, pillows, wall finishes. That is actually where art. What I'm into is art.
Stuff.
Anything concerning scaffolding, POP, I don't like it.
I really like that because I feel like everybody, when I say everybody, like most people I talk to, as soon as they start, they're like, what can I invest in? How do I get my money up? I need to make more money. And I'm like, if you want to job stays into potted plants, you have not built anything.
Yeah.
And I get it's natural, it's human because I checked before I started my business. The number one thing that like millennials Google is how to make more money. Nobody's interested in how to budget.
You know what is crazy? That this is. You always think you're special.
You always think you're special.
This is the number one.
I'm constantly thinking. I'm constantly thinking about it. Like, so my general thing is that most people are clowns. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm like, you know how when people make money, like sometimes, especially me, I listen to all these business podcasts, especially all these Americans. They just say, they did one thing. Like the other day I was listening and one guy has a street line business. As in his whole business is those stripes on the road.
That demarcate the road.
Yeah, apparently, because of all this self-driving car, one thing, if the streets like don't have clear road signs, all these cameras can't see it. And so his business is all these like old roads. He is doing the line so that all these companies doing self-driving, the car. I said, and he's made million. I said, I was like, it doesn't
money doing.
So you know what I mean? And so you start to feel like I'm just not seeing. The hack, the trick.
Yeah.
There's just one
there's just something I need to do.
There's just something that's just
there
that nobody has thought of. That's just there. And that's what I need to find and I'll just blow.
I was just about to talk about this thing because I was about to talk about the next thing, which is income, like just making more money. Like, how do we actually make more money? First thing, like a lot of people want to start with is, what is the thing that I can be doing?
Yeah. Is
it something that you're already doing, something you already know? That is where you make the most money. Because when people try and go too far outside of like their existing ecosystem or what they know, it doesn't work. You spend energy you don't have, time you don't have, trying to learn something you don't know in an industry you have never been in before.
Just trying to like quickly
whatever it is that you have that you understand, you can make money from it. And like, I'll give you an example. You said I was selling pajamas. I'd be like, without my business. And I'll tell you how that even happened. So I was working in finance, my corporate finance job, and I was like, okay, I want to make more money. Like at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, I was like, by the end of next year, this is the money I need to make. It was a big number. I was like, how am I going to do it? So I just started with, what do I know? What do I like? What am I good at? I like fashion. I like clothes. my friends always come to me like, oh, like, pick this out. What do you think about this? So I was like, I bet I could probably like sell pajamas. Nobody was really doing it
that,
like at the time. And I wanted to make things that were just really nice for like being at home, being very girly. This was 2019, you guys. I started making pajamas and women's like sleepwear, lingerie in 2019, end of the year. What happened 6 months later? Everybody's at home.
Yeah.
Pandemic. You people, I made money. I'm not going to lie. I made money. Everybody was at home. All of it.
So everybody was wearing lingerie. Yeah.
People were looking for me. Like, I was like, you can't be having a pajama emergency. Get off my phone. and that's what I mean. Like, at the time I started it, I feel like it wasn't like, oh, this is going to be something that you're going to make X million from. I had even planned it. I didn't have it in my mind. It was a combination of I just did what I was good at, what I knew was in my heart, and it worked out really well for me. I did not plan the pandemic. Obviously, pandemic was awful and tragic for a lot of people. But what I'm trying to say is that staying in your lane actually pays off. Yeah. Because you'll be able to see things and understand things that like nobody ever does.
What now made you stop?
Okay, right. I was talking to Jolla about this. So I think this was the time when, I don't know, the exchange rate was, devaluing, doing what it does. And I just felt like I was kind of running, like I was trying to run up a down escalator just based on the macro environment, right? Because at the end of the next year, I had made the money I wanted to. I did. By the time I did the currency exchange, because I still had like a lot of the things I wanted to do were outside of Nigeria. I did the currency exchange and it was as if nothing happened. And I just remember being so discouraged and just feeling like, why am I even bothering? And then also, I think at the time, like diesel prices had gone up. So like even just transporting the tailors to the factory, running the gen, everything was just so much more expensive and people's spending power was getting smaller. So at that point, I sat down and I was like, there has to be a smarter way for me to make more money without putting in all of this like initial capital because making clothes is capital intensive. And like, one thing, I'm not scared about experimenting. Like, that's one thing that I'm proud of myself. I don't care what people think. I stopped. I was like, this doesn't make sense. I will just be doing it just so I can say that, my business is still running. Like, your business
is growing. But like, also not to even answer the question.
This is the thing I mean about shame. People are afraid to be like, oh, my business ran out of money or my business, blah, blah, blah.
I stopped.
I just stopped. People are ashamed to say that. So they'll just keep digging themselves into a hole. When something is not working, stop. Yeah, the one that is, at the end of the day, it is you and your bills. Okay, like when something is not working, stop.
Did you feel embarrassed, like when people would ask?
No, not when people would ask. When I realized, I did. But then I just realized, you know what? It's actually fine. There's not one way to skin a cat. There's not one way to make money. Like I back myself in my ability to figure this out. And I didn't try and rush into it. I was like, okay, this is not great right now. It's fine. Like whatever. When I kind of figure it out, I will. So I pivoted. I changed track. I decided I wanted to leave finance because the morning to night work was too much for me. I mean, shout out to everybody that does it, but like, it was kind of too much for me. And then also I had my kids and I didn't want to be in an office like all the time. I wanted to be at home with like my gorgeous daughters. So I was like, okay, which company can I work from home and that they'll be paying me money? I was like, check. So I went, I did one course. I did a course, pivoted into tech. So now I'm working from home. I was getting paid well and I was like doing something that I enjoyed. That's when this whole money start thing happened. So remember, this was when I first started my career. I just was like, I need to earn more money. I need to start saving, budgeting, investing. Because I thought that if I just got a job in finance, I will eventually become rich.
The money will just
happen. It will just pile up. I'll just become rich. No, it just didn't happen. I was like, I have to be intentional about it. There's something I saw on Instagram literally yesterday. The person was like, money is like time. You know how when you wake up, you don't plan your day, you're just going about it. And then the whole day just goes. It's 4 o'clock, you haven't done anything. Money is the same way. Think about it, be intentional about it, plan for it. There's no way that your money will miss. And I can attest to that. But let me not get off track. So I started this money start thing because I have younger siblings. I'm the eldest. So, of course, that means that they think that
that you have money. They think that your money.
No, let me tell you guys the kicker. All of them live in London. So from London, they'll be asking me to send them pounds. I was like, are you guys having a laugh? And this was even before that the exchange rate was doing what it was doing. This was like middle of last year. And I was like, you people, I cannot be sending you pounds now. Like, come on. They're all adults, by the way. My younger siblings are not teenagers. Let me also give that added context. They're in their 20s. So I was like, why is it that you guys keep running out of money? Come, let's have a conversation about it. And they told me. So I was like, as I started explaining things to them, this is what you need to do. They were like, you know so much about this. Like, you should come and talk to my friends. I was like, okay, let me just start a cute little Insta. And then I started it for the Gen Zs. And then when I started, literally 2 videos in, my DMs were flooded with people in their 30s. I'm so afraid to talk about this. I don't know what mutual funds are. I don't have any investments. I don't understand about investments. Please, can we talk? And I was like, oh, wow, there's a huge because nobody talks about. Also, I started this page. I didn't even know.
I promise you, I don't know. I can't remember a conversation like with any actual friend of mine where like in a non-ironic way where we're not laughing or like being like, how can we just blow? Where me and anyone sits down like, okay, so what are you doing with money? Blah, blah, blah. It's not a thing. It's actually not a thing.
And I feel like this has really opened up like a community of people that are ready to talk about it now. Because every time I host one of my workshops, I start like Jollz starts with one of those like, I get people to fill out a questionnaire.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys, 90% of the people on this workshop do not have investments. So don't feel like your question is stupid. Ask. You're not the only one. And, people feel embarrassed because they're like, I'm 34, I'm 35. I have some savings. I haven't invested in anything. I'm not building any wealth. I have kids. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Then there's shame, there's anxiety, there's panic, there's fear. And it doesn't have to be that way. If you can just like lift up the veil and just like talk about it.
Sometimes it's harder, especially when you look good. People be like, you walk.
That's what I'm saying. So let me tell you the problem. Let me tell you, me and Jollz suffer from this in particular. A lot of people think we have a lot of money. Okay? And I don't know how to explain to them that this popularity, is it not how you people say to me, do you give me money? You don't now.
The first time I had to explain to somebody, someone was like, you make so much money. I said, have you ever paid to listen to the podcast? Have you ever paid?
I'm sorry. Like, what do you mean?
That's so funny that you said that. Before you guys came in, I asked your team, I was like, how does this podcast make money?
Because I promise you, people think that, including like my family members, my mom is convinced that I've stashed more money somewhere that I've not shared for them. And I'm like, sis, there is not like that. Like how you're seeing me is how it is. But it just, so when you even have a perception that you have a lot of money, it becomes, you seem like you are being self-deprecating when you say like, oh, I'm broke or I don't have enough money. People don't take it seriously because it just feels like you're being a bit patronizing. And I'm like, actually, I don't have money. You're telling me that, And so that's why sometimes the conversation is not really, I'm a bit unrealistic just about like things because I go from saying I don't have money to now I want to travel next month, for example. This month. And like, I don't know how it's going to happen, but like, that's the path. That's the path.
So start with what you have. Take advantage of the internet. Like I believe in like the digital economy. Try and sell what you know or try and get yourself in front of as many people as possible for as free as possible. And in terms of making more money, I would say don't be like, leverage other people, collaborate with other people. And when I say leverage other people, like you don't have to be the smartest or the best at what you say that you're doing. You probably know somebody that is smarter than you, that is better than you, that you can convince to come and do it with you. Like it sounds so corny, but you go further together. You actually will. And think like, I know producers, I know rappers, I know singers. Let me call somebody that knows. Come, let's do this thing together. You take the money from this. I'll take the money from this. Like I know producers, I know rappers, I know singers. Let me call somebody that knows. Come, let's do this thing together. You take the money from this. I'll take the money from this. And then you take the money from this. I'll take the money from this. And then you guys can go and do. And that doesn't cost a lot to like set up. So I would say start with what you know. Don't go too deep with like the money that you invest in it. In the beginning, try and invest more time than money because the thing is, until you've proved your concept, until you've actually done it, there's a very high chance you could lose your money. Like very, very high chance. So I would say start with that. And also, don't not focus on your career because I feel like people always think, okay, I want to make more money. I need to go and start a side hustle or start a business.
A lot
in your career, you can make more money.
Like
try and upskill. Like actually try and get good at your job. Like don't just drag yourself through it. Take courses. Ask questions, get to know people that are in charge, make yourself visible, be strategic, put yourself, tell them that get a mentor for real. Tell them, use your mouth and talk. Tell them that you want a raise, that you want a promotion. Go and meet somebody, be like, I like what you're doing. I want to be in this position. I would like to get a raise. What do I need to do? Work with them over 2 years because there's also money. Of course, there is money in having like a 9 to 5. There is.
Actually, a lot of richest people. They have job.
I feel like millennials really glamorize like being your own owner and your own like business owner. I'm sorry,
really, considering that I'm the boss of many people, I'm over it. It's honestly... It's like, look, I keep saying it's just because no one has offered me the number. There's a number you offer me that I'll pack everything up. Sincerely, because it's not easier, but like it's a different path.
It's different. So I would say, especially when you're young, like also try and get good at your career. Like focus on that too, as well as like other income streams that you can build around that.
Awesome.
I would say.
Awesome.
This has been fantastic.
It has. So what do you have for people? Like what are the different things that you can offer them?
Okay, great. So on Instagram at My Money Starts, I have an online course coming out and a coaching program. So the online course is just for if you want to, at your own time, just kind of like go through lectures and stuff from when it starts. Not lectures, it will just be like me talking like this, but I'll have slides, okay? And then there's a coaching program, right? So I do one-on-one coaching and I also do group coaching. So group coaching is like safe space, not that many people, but you want coaching on like the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a group coaching program for that. And I have that running at different points in the year. I would like to say that I have one coming out in May, but I don't want anybody to hold me. By God's grace,
this
next
quarter.
coaching, this quarter. Next coaching program is going to be this quarter. So yeah, there's 3 different ways you can work with me. Online courses, if you just like to go at your own pace, do your own thing. You can do group coaching, you can do one-on-one coaching. And then there's literally everything I've said here is on my Instagram, like for free. I also have free workshops. I do a free workshop every month.
You have templates and things like that.
Yeah, so we have a budget planner that helps you actually separate your money into budgeting, saving, and investment. So it does it for you. I have a savings dashboard tracker where you can put your money into different savings budgets. You can check your progress. It's like really fun and really cute. I have a debt repayment calculator. So for all of your debts, it puts in the interest rates, tells you how long it's going to take you to pay off your different kinds of interest, etc. And then I just have like a general, like, are you ready to start investing? Like things you need to like check off before you make your first investment, you see.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
This has been beautiful. I have no unsafe space this week, but I do have something that happened that I really would like more people to do. Okay. So you know this thing where, because people are, again, we talk about shame a lot here, like embarrassed or feel some type of way. If you felt left out of something, don't harass the person you feel left you out. So a friend of mine who I didn't think would care about my dad's thing messaged me and she said, "Oh, Jola, next time anyone in your family is doing something like this, please invite me. I would like to be there." And you know the difference that made? She didn't harass me.
And I didn't feel something.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah,
it was just, she was just like, oh, that she knows that we're all like, we do a lot of work. Because we also know the kind of friends we are to each other. Like we like going out together and like having fun. And she was like, oh, like she knows that this isn't, but like, please invite her for this kind of stuff next time. That she just likes being around me and my friends. And I thought that was very sweet. Yeah. It wasn't like a long thing. It wasn't, in fact, she had moved, by the time I messaged her and she said, she even forgot she had sent the message that, did you feel a kind of way? She was like, no, that she didn't sit and think, why didn't Jola invite me? She's like, oh, I need to tell her to let her know she should invite me next time. That's nice. So I thought that was really, really sweet because it didn't cause any like weird awkwardness because we both know we're not super close, but we're friendly enough for that to be a thing.
That a lot, actually. That's nice. I like that a lot. Because most people try and go on like the opposite thing. And then you just make it awkward. You just make it awkward.
All right, guys, as usual, you know what to do. Follow, like,
so
subscribe.
The girls are making money.
Yes. Make sure you follow.
Let us know what has happened when you do your budgeting one. Yes. To pay us for this service that we've done for you.
Yeah, we've had a fantastic time. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I feel like people are really going to get into this.
Yeah. Up money. See you next week.